Oh, there we are. Hey, everybody. How's it
Hey,
going? Sorry we're a little bit late. I was I was a little out of sorts running around trying to figure out certain things for this upcoming episode, and I just got sidetracked. And suddenly, the stream was starting in 10 minutes, and I didn't have a thumbnail.
that's okay.
So here we are. You're a little bit up high in the screen capture, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh, so how's it going?
Oh, it's going. I was like kind of setting up my computer last minute because I just set up my old computer downstairs because I've sort of spent the past couple of days sort of getting my main computer set up upstairs.
You're turning
I'm
your upstairs into a office.
Yes, I am. In addition to, and in fact, I recorded a let me think. I guess it was one day this week, like maybe Wednesday. I recorded a sort of an intro for a video that will document sort of the process of finishing the unfinished room upstairs, which is going to become my retro game room, and then the open area upstairs, this becoming my office. And I just thought it might be fun to document the creation of a retro game room from scratch. I mean, a totally unfinished room.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
going to put up the wood paneling and everything. Just document that process. I mean, not going to get like heavy into detail of like, you know, how it's being constructed or anything, but but then I'll mention the elements of what is driving the whole setup and stuff. So I know people always wanted that updated video. We did do that updated video a few months ago. That video log that is publicly available. It's unlisted, but it's in the public playlist now.
mm-hmm.
You can see an updated look at my setup, but that's all changing again.
But that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I've been working on that. So yeah. So anyway, my old computer is down here, and so I was kind of last minute getting that set up as well.
Yeah. Well, this week I'm going to be playing Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair. So just
Which
which
is
I
awesome.
I have not played the first one, and I gotta be honest. Like I bought this because you were talking about it so much. You and
Yeah.
John
Well.
Linneman were talking about it, and I've never seen it in action. I've
Oh,
never even
really?
even seen it.
Yeah.
So
Well.
this is going to be completely 100% like fresh.
Well, I remember you were before I even like I was like definitely looking forward to it, but I wasn't like mega hyped for it or anything. And like I have for available for pickup at Best Buy on Tuesday, and I was like, I might go tomorrow. But like John was like raving about how good it was, and then so I went and got it and started that night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But before even then, you would ask John like, oh, is like how's the Switch version?
Yeah, because I mean that it just feels like a good system to play it on. Plus, I'm gonna play it with the Pro SM or is it SN30 Pro. Just feels like a good fit for a game like this. And you said it's pretty good because there's an overworld map that I have to use the analog on. So
You,
this
you
is
don't have to, but it feels good to use the analog on it.
yeah.
But I like using D-pad for platformers. So,
Well, let's see how
uh,
this goes. I mean, I don't know. I don't.
like, I mean, are you relatively comfortable with Donkey Kong Country
Yeah,
mechanics? I mean,
yeah, yeah.
you can like roll off a cliff and then jump in midair from your roll.
So you were saying it feels like the proper. Uh, it's what Donkey Kong Country Returns should have been.
Absolutely. Like, I feel like if Rare had stayed with Nintendo, they probably would have made another 3D Donkey Kong game on the GameCube because like 2D wasn't really back in vogue yet, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like 2D started kind of making a comeback in like the Wii generation. So I kind of feel like if they had then done another Donkey Kong Country, it would have been like this on the Wii. Like it is it's very much an evolution of that that gameplay. The level design isn't like exactly the same as Donkey Kong Country. It has a different pace to it, I think, but it feels like where they would have gone if they kind of kept experimenting. It's more exploratory. The levels are bigger.
That's good. I mean, I've even played the first one. I have it, but I should play it.
I don't think you need to. Like, most of the characters you'll meet in the overworld are like returning characters, but it doesn't even matter, really. Like, there might be a joke or a reference to what happened in the first game every now and then, but like Capital B there, he's the bad guy in the first one, and then the Queen Bee here is a new character.
I wonder how this is gonna sell.
I hope it sells really well, because I mean, I know the first game wasn't like the most popular game ever, and I hope that, like, you know, being associated with the Yooka-Laylee name doesn't hurt the sales of this. But like, it really feels like with this game, like, it's such a huge step up from the first one.
Is there no run? Like, you just run the same speed, you don't have to hold it?
Yeah, I mean, there is a little variation if you use the analog stick, but it seems like you just automatically go full speed without holding Y, as far as I can tell. You can do a double barrel roll, by the way.
Oh, you can go faster.
Double. Yeah, you can roll twice.
I see.
I forget if you need Laylee to do that or not. You always start with Laylee, and then if you lose her, you lose a couple of moves. She's basically your extra hit. If you get hit without her, then you die.
Got it.
Oh. You can ground pound with L. You can also stick out your tongue with R, which is really only for grabbing things.
You can roll and jump in the air.
But yeah, this is I see there's someone who's already like surprised that they had no idea that like the sequel was 2D, and it is. Like, this is Platonics. You know, the first one was obviously meant to be an homage to Banjo-Kazooie, and this is very much a callback to Donkey Kong Country. Very, very much.
So have you finished it?
I'm pretty close.
You haven't finished it because you've been really taking your time with it?
I kind of am taking my time with it. I mean, the interesting thing, see, like, the Queen is summoning the Beetalion right now. That's basically going to make you invincible for the rest of this level.
Okay.
And the rest of the game, so you can go after this sort of intro level, you can go to the impossible layer, which is the final level. Like, you can go there immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard.
Oh, okay. So you could technically beat it.
I could. I've got, like, I want to say like 36. I've rescued like 36 of the bees. So the bees, every time you get hit, like, see all this like crazy stuff that's going on right now? Like, it's meant to be like stupidly hard.
I see.
So those bees,
they all take their hit. They all take a hit.
The bees are taking the hits for you. So the goal of the game is to rescue the bees at the end of each level,
so that you can take enough hits,
so that you can get a bunch of hits in the impossible layer. I think it's a pretty clever hook.
Oh, looks like we got a donation there.
Oh, we got Engine UK with £2. Thank you. Saying, I could see Sega making Sonic in this vein. I mean,
it was kind of Sonic Mania.
Yeah, I mean, they did do that. Of course, it wasn't like, 3D or anything, but What's so crazy about this too is like, I mean, this is a Unity engine game, and they made Switch the target platform or the lead platform,
Right.
and it's pretty darn close to a locked 60 frames per second.
I think John was saying that the Xbox One runs at 4K, but I just, if it seems like this is the target platform, I feel like
and honestly, I think it looks pretty darn good on the TV. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna
like in motion. Yeah,
I mean, like for games that look like this, it doesn't seem like 4K that makes a difference at all.
No, I don't think it would make a huge difference.
Oh, we had another donation there. It's going to pop up on the stream though, so if you keep it.
I'll need to pause. Your thoughts on Digital Foundry's recent CRT video causing a sort of resurgence in CRT tech and mainstream gaming community? Has it? Like, I don't really know if it's like had like a major impact.
That's from Jonathan Hinson, by the way, for $2. Thank you. What was the question again? Sorry, it was.
Well, thoughts on that video causing a resurgence in CRTs among like general gaming populace. Yeah, like, is it
the Digital Foundry video?
I know it went a little viral, but I don't know if it's really had like an impact on.
I think it has.
But yeah, I definitely think that's cool, and it's inspired me to do some more tests. I'm not really set up to do it right now. Like I said, my setup upstairs is kind of in flux, but I am planning to set up my good PC CRT in such a way that I can make more use of it for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting to see people in like the CRT collective group on Facebook talking about it. Like it's interesting because it seems like there's definitely a contingent of people that are angry that there's videos like that are getting attention.
That's going to make them like expensive and stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is like it's impossible to like. I just think that it's like a silly thing to get angry about because there's sorry, I'm watching this happen here. It's just silly because people are gonna like people sometimes in a lot of cases the people getting angry are the people that found out through videos anyways. Sure. we had one person that was always posting on the Facebook saying PVMs are impossible for me to get now, so you owe me a PVM. I was like, okay, well, sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of a load time if you die here.
Yeah, the John pointed out in his video, like the early game load times are really long, but then like once you get into the main portion of the game, they're not long at all.
Oh, was I supposed to die there?
You can. He's not too hard, but like if you beat him, then you start going into the impossible layer itself, and I got 3% of the way, it said. By the way, like when you lost Laylee, she like flutters around for a while and it's kind of erratic.
Yeah, I saw that Shibitina saying you gotta pick up Laylee if you lose her, kind of like Baby Mario and Yoshi's Island.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a interesting parallel. Except if she goes away, you don't, you don't game over right away. You just only have one hit left, and then you can there are these bells in the levels that if you have lost Laylee, you can ring the bell. If you ring the bell, then she'll come back. It's kind of like the DK barrels in Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So this overworld is like super cool. Like I was aware that it had, before I got the game, that it was going to have these like kind of overhead, like Zelda-like sort of exploration and puzzle solving and stuff. And I thought that was like kind of like going to kill the pace of the game, because it's like, you came to this game for the platforming action, right? Like Donkey Kong Country, sometimes there's a little bit, especially in 3, there's a little bit of stuff to do on the overworld, and that's okay. That's not, like a big deal. But like you spend a significant amount of time in the overworld. But it's like super fun. Like it's one of the best parts of the game. Like it's just like the puzzles are like just like the right level of difficulty where like you don't waste a lot of time on them, but they make you think just enough to like make you feel good about yourself. Like it's and also maybe all levels, certainly most of them, have like an alternate version that if you do something on the overworld will cause something to happen in the level that will like radically change it. So you might like flood it, you might freeze it, you might like turn it upside down. Like there's different things for every level. So you can roll through barrels, and if you stand still, you just do like a tail swipe attack.
Oh, is that that's the checkpoint, right?
Those are checkpoints. And if you like do something that you're like, oh, like I don't want to have to do that again, then you can kind of go back to the checkpoint. Like for example, like you've been kind of passing them by, but see those colored quills?
Yeah.
Like those are called ghost quills, and the different colors, like you interact with them all in kind of a different way. And so you can get like a lot of extra quills from them. And so if you like do one that was like kind of hard to get to finish its challenge, and you're like not that far from a checkpoint, you can go back to the checkpoint and it'll remember that you did the ghost quill challenge.
Sticking out your tongue, what does that do?
There's like berries and keys and things like that you can pick up and carry, and bombs.
Got it.
They're not too common, but you can't use it on any enemies, to my knowledge.
Music's good.
Oh yeah. I mean, a good chunk of it's David Wise.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
There's also a new guy who, I think the style is similar. Grant Kirkhope did the Overworld. I'm not sure if he did anything else.
Oh.
Oh yeah, those enemies have like spawn points.
That makes me think of Klonoa, kind of.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't like everywhere. Like usually there's like a reason. If there's a spawn point, like maybe there's something that you need to jump up off of an enemy to get to or something.
But it will be interesting to see how well this does, because I don't think a lot of people knew that it even came out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's as demonstrated by people in the chat.
It's so good though. I mean, it is such a huge step up in every way from the first game. It's just more focused, just better designed.
I feel like you can roll indefinitely if you want.
I don't think you can. I mean, you see that you.
Oh yeah, you stop.
You come out of it. I mean, you can. It's close, but like in Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical, at least Tropical Freeze, I think you can roll indefinitely, which feels a little weird to me.
Secret Tomb. It does feel good to just play a game like this. I've been having a hard time really committing to any games lately.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess on that, like, I'll say that about how sorry I am for not having a new episode out yet. The thing is, So I had like a freelance job I think it was on Monday, and it ended up going until like almost all night, so it really threw me off for a lot of the week. And then this weekend, there's this event here in Cincinnati called Blink, where it's like kind of a light show, like installation. It's like citywide basically, and really, really cool. So we spent all weekend going to that. So it was very difficult to get anything done all weekend either. But I mean, hopefully it'll be like midweek. So the thing is it's about games within games, which is hopefully worth the wait for people. I have a feeling that they're expecting probably something a lot bigger than what they're gonna get. Oh, okay. I can do butt slam now.
Yeah, go.
I couldn't before. Oh, I can do it here.
Oh, you can as long as you have Laylee.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So the different ghost quills, like the green one, like runs ahead really fast and like leaves a trail. If you reach him, then he becomes some bigger quills. They just all do different things. Every once in a while, they drop something more important. Like the quills, sometimes you need them to progress or to open something on the overworld, but not often. But they at the end of the level, like your total is added up. And if you die, you lose the quills that you got after the last checkpoint, but you keep all the quills you had when you hit the checkpoint. So the quills, like you'll find that you'll unlock these tonics, a lot of them, and those cost quills to unlock. But I'll explain more of that when you get them. You can also shoot those berries straight up if you need to.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and the timing for like if you want extra height off of an enemy, the timing is pretty tight. Like you have to like hit the A button like as you're hitting the enemy. Like you can't like hold the A button before you even hit the enemy. Like I mean, some games work that way.
Yeah. So in terms of like the episode, again, I just want to wrap that up, I guess, as long as something comes up here. I gotta do this now. In terms of that, like somehow it got to be extremely long, and I see we got a donation. Sorry.
Well, you go ahead and finish your thoughts.
Okay.
And then I'll go back to it.
I cut out several segments of this script, like entire game segments, and it's like still gonna be like 45 minutes. I don't know why that's the case. I saw that script and I was like, we gotta cut some of this out. This is stupidly long. And then we still cut all that stuff out, and it's still 45 minutes. I don't know. I feel like I can't cut anything else out because
people like it when it's like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm saying it's gonna be 45 minutes, but I mean, it might be less. I mean, I've been pulling little segments out of it here and there, but okay, go ahead.
People will mostly like that. But yeah, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, we're hoping it'll launch, mid this week.
Yeah, that's the plan.
So we got $8 from Craig One. Thank you. Saying, have you played and enjoyed dancing games like DDR, Just Dance, Dance Central, Dance Rush, Stardom, or dare I say the Zumba fitness games? I know that Game Dave has ambitions with his new house to set up a permanent DDR station in his comically large basement.
That'd be good for him.
Yeah, but no, I have no rhythm whatsoever. I mean, I have very lightly tried games like that, but like I can't even play like Parappa the Rapper or Rhythm Heaven or Owen Don or anything like that. Like I just like I mean I can kind of play Owen Don. But like it's visual to me. Like I look at the thing on screen, like, but it does. I never feel connected to the rhythm in those games.
You just like never.
I don't
feel yeah, you haven't played it enough to feel it, maybe. I guess, but
nah, I don't know. It just doesn't. Those kinds of games just don't connect with me.
Well, it's okay. I mean, like in terms of like dancing games, I really haven't played them too much. I mean, I could see myself maybe like playing with my kids when they get a little bit older. Whoa, there she goes.
Modern documentary is on hold because Tri's making a video about a certain long-lived game series.
What?
That's not true, but I'm guessing he's making a joke about our buddy Paul Sutton, who is actually in this chat. Sold me a whole bunch of Puyo Puyo games.
Oh.
which by the way, he also threw in a couple of GBA games, and I haven't done enough research yet to figure out what one of those is. I haven't popped in my system yet. I'm like, what is this? That's Japanese on the cover. But yeah, like he showed us a bunch of Puyo games that he had, I guess, when
after hearing
me talk about last week. Like it's just like they're so cheap. It's just like one of those things. It's just like when I see it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll get that. But no, the documentary series is not on hold. It's been a little tough lately to have a lot of focused time with it. But
I mean, essentially we're planning on releasing it like at the very beginning of January, like throughout January.
That's kind of what we're thinking right now.
It just makes the most sense in terms of timing.
Yeah, it's the most realistic thing to be able to achieve at this point, I would say. While still, getting some good content out in October, November, and December.
I mean, I feel good especially after doing, like, once I wrap this episode, it looks like a lot, like the freelance obligations that I've had ongoing for a long time are basically wrapped up at this point.
Yeah.
Really the thing that was a challenge recently, like with the freelance things, is that due to certain circumstances, I end up having to basically produce this entire last project that I did. Usually I'm just like the editor, but I was doing like all this stuff, like, so usually I'm the I'm the editor, and I have a producer who like speaks with the clients, and then the clients tell him what they want, and then he relays that information to me. And due to certain circumstances, like I ended up having to be in direct contact with the client.
And you even had to do some VO.
Yeah, I even had to like do some like last minute VO for a thing that it's basically like reading. Imagine this, like reading a list of side effects for a new drug, which is what it was. And it's repeating the name of this drug over and over again, and it's like a really difficult to understand or to say word that I mean, I had to send them my voiceover, and they had to say, okay, so you got to re-say this word, this word, this word, this word, and this was all at the last moment. Like, basically, it had to be done that night.
Were they okay with your VO?
Yeah, I mean, it ended up.
They had to be.
They had to. Yeah, there was no other choice about it.
We got a $1.99 from Emma Condrite. Thank you. My life and gaming abbreviated MLG. Coincidence? I guess like what, like
Major League Gaming? No, that's
Major League Gaming. No. Total coincidence. And normally we say MLIG, so we normally say MLiG.
Yeah.
I saw some people talking more about rhythm games and asking like, well, what kind of rhythm game would I connect to? Like I mean, like I said, like I played Elite Beat Agents, and I played like Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm, but like I could play them because at least on the default or easy difficulties or whatever, like the visual was easy enough to follow, but like the connection to the music just wasn't there for me. I was like, okay, like theater rhythm, like I love Final Fantasy music. Like if I'm gonna like feel connected to any rhythm game, it would be this, and it still just didn't do anything for me. The music games that I have connected to, and this is very recent, are those Mizuguchi games.
So I take it you have unlimited lives in this.
Oh yeah. Like you just have to restart the checkpoints. I mean, it's good because the levels are long.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
It gets pretty tough sometimes. But like Tetris Effect was a real revelation for me for sure. Yeah, she's pretty erratic when she freaks out.
There's definitely an arcade episode coming, and it will be before Christmas. So I guess throughout this whole like couple of weeks, kind of figured out a good workflow in terms of how I want to do episodes for the time being until like you wrap up the modder documentary, and hopefully that'll keep me. I've been having a real problem where I get sidetracked throughout the week, and then I don't record and write at the same time like I used to, and that's just like it like messed me up a whole bunch.
Record and write at the same time?
Yeah, like record what I need to say, or record the gameplay and then write right after it.
If you run to a door like that where where it comes up, that means that the entrance is somewhere else. Either you've missed it or it's just ahead. Which
is probably what's happening. Oh, jeez.
Those numbered coins, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are like the important collectibles in the levels.
Got it.
Like, I mean, it's not like you have to get them all necessarily, but you do need to spend certain numbers of them at various points to progress in the overworld. To get through a paywall, they're called. This is a Switch game, which is a darn near locked 60 frames per second and runs, according to Digital Foundry, just over 720p. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it really does.
Those purple ones that just like barf the quills, those are my favorite. I couldn't stop laughing the first few. Well, I did. They just go. Oh, we got $6.77 from
Thanks.
7 Kurgan. Thank you. Recently bought an OSSC. I'm in love with it. Got lucky that my 1080p LG TV was able to accept all line modes except 480i line 3x. Yeah, I have not run into any display that accepts that mode, and I'm not really sure what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that mode is supposed to be. I'd like to test it like using like a HDMI to VGA adapter and connecting it to like a PC monitor. Maybe you could do something with it on that, or like a PVM. I don't know. 3x laced does work on my Magewell capture card, but I have not extensively tried capturing in that mode.
No, there's the paywall.
Yep.
A twit coin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I got through the last paywall last night. But then there kind of are a couple other paywalls, at least one more. But the mechanics for how you get, I mean, it mechanically, it's basically another paywall, but in terms of game progression, it counts as the last one.
Tonic menu.
Yeah, you used to have to talk to her in the first game to change tonics, but you can just do it through the pause menu now. No, there is not a literal paywall in this game. It's just kind of a joke in the game. You collect coins, and this conniving snake erects these paywalls that.
So tonics are just kind of like.
It's kind of a risk reward system.
I see.
Well, sort of. They're some of them are, and some of
like
them are
just buffs you can get.
Some of them are buffs, and they will reduce the number of quills that you get.
Oh.
And some of them are like challenges and will increase the number of quills you get. And others are neutral. For a while, I was using one that removes all but one checkpoint from the level. And I played with it for a little bit, but it was kind of too hard. So
maybe if you feel like slam a B. Okay, well, I guess. Maybe after you finish the game. I always feel inclined to go back after I finish the game and just see what else I can do, like immediately afterwards.
Mm-hmm. You can any like box that has like those yellow handles on it, you can grab them with R.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Also, you should talk to that signpost.
I went back here.
Yeah. At first, I thought they were like just like giving hints that I wouldn't need, but they tell you things that you basically wouldn't figure out on your own. So basically, they give you a hint to find a hidden item on the overworld, and almost all the time it's pounding, doing a ground pound on top of it. It's not that. It's up further up north.
Oh. Sorry, I only half read it.
But yeah, they're just hidden tonics.
Oh.
That you can choose to. You have to pay for it first with quills, but like that huge head, like it just makes his head big. It's like, you know, it's kind of like the GoldenEye cheats, basically.
Yeah. That's fun though.
There's also there's Game Boy resolution, and it costs 144 quills, which is pretty good.
Oh, really? What's it make how's the game look?
It makes it Game Boy resolution, but then there's a separate one that's Game Boy colors. So it's green. And there's another one that is Super Nintendo resolution, and it costs 240
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I can... There we go. That makes sense. Yeah, this overworld's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like actually a shockingly good Zelda-like, really. And like you can't really get hurt. Like if you get hit by an enemy on the overworld, you use a couple of quills. Like it's kind of just meant to be like, it's really about the exploration and the puzzle solving.
Right.
It's just fun to explore, I think.
Yeah.
And like you'll like open up like shortcuts and alternate paths, and you'll find lots of like hidden goodies and bonuses like those tonics. Like, you can't jump very high. You have to like get up on those like half steps first.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Our checkmates the checkpoints.
Yes. What was that tonic for?
It's more checkmates. That's more checkmates.
More checkmates. But see, it reduces
the quill bonus is minus 0.2. That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, I really like the idea of risk reward systems, is like how difficulty is implemented in a game.
Yeah.
Like, so the one that actually took out all but one checkmate, it raised it up to 2x. So then I took advantage of that to choose a few that would make it easier, so that it only went down to 1.5x. But it was just too difficult, I thought. So those pages, you just like complete their challenge like that, and then like do something on the overworld that like allows you to get somewhere you couldn't get before or something. Like they're all.
The music.
Yeah.
A regular scratch at the end. Maybe I just really need to play a few levels each evening.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty reasonable. I mean, they're fairly long, so you can feel like you did something, you know, just from playing one level, you know?
Right.
And really, like, you know, if you just you know, you can do the final level anytime. So, you know, maybe if you just like kind of lost what you were even doing in the overworld, you could just you know, play for you know, you just be like, well, maybe I've got enough bees to actually do the last level. Yeah, see, the nice thing is, like, you get to pass by the checkpoint at the beginning of the level again, so even if you die, you're not going to lose that first coin. So, like, that's what I've done a lot. Like, if I, like, wasn't too far away and I collected a coin that was kind of a pain to get, like, if it's not that difficult. I hate the red ones. The red ones are my least favorite.
Oh, come on.
Usually they aren't important, though.
Oh, I lost that.
Like, sometimes, I mean, usually it's just extra quills. Sometimes they might drop I think they sometimes drop coins. Other times they might drop, like, a berry or a bomb.
I feel like there's something down here. Or not.
Yeah, I mean, if there was something down a place like that, there would be something that, like, would hint at it, like a quill down there or something.
I mean, this music right here sounds like something on Ocarina of Time.
Is this a sequel or a spin-off? I mean, I think they consider it a full sequel. I mean, it is a vastly superior game. I mean, it is.
You're not saying that because you didn't like the first one.
No, I'm not saying because I didn't like the first. Because I liked the first. It definitely had its rough edges. For sure. I played the Switch version because that's what, you know, feels. It just feels like the right platform for it. But I liked it. I can understand maybe why some people didn't. But this just feels like a grander scale. They were able to make something that feels much more complete and cohesive by, you know, going for the 2D concept, which, I mean, I am a way bigger fan of Donkey Kong Country than Banjo-Kazooie. So, you know, this direction suits me just fine. But I really feel like, you know, like this for me kind of proves that, like, oh, like they could definitely bring back some of the old Rare magic. Like, what could they do next? Like, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be with Yooka-Laylee.
Right.
I saw we got another $6 from Craig Wan. Thank you. This is a question for Coury.
Oh, okay.
As a father who is a gamer, what are some of the games you grew up with that they enjoy?
Nothing yet. I mean, it was cool. We did play the Ninja Turtles arcade game pretty recently, and the kids both enjoyed playing that together. Yeah. But I mean, not a whole lot as of yet, unfortunately, and that seems the way that it's shaken out. I mean, my daughter's like, she's only cares about Minecraft right now. Oh, come on. Okay, I thought I was gonna die again. Unfortunately, like that's.
I thought she was also playing like Roblox or whatever, wasn't she?
Well, she was for a little bit. But now she's like all in on Minecraft. Like, she thinks about it all the time and talks about it all the time. it's a real problem getting her to turn it off. I don't know if I talked to that in the chat or not, but I mean it's become a point of contention like almost every day, where she is not, when she's not playing it, she wants to watch YouTube videos about it.
Wow.
So it's interesting though, because she doesn't quite understand a lot of it yet either. It's fascinating watching her figure it out. Oh, whoops.
That door has...
Yeah, I didn't see him.
It's... Yeah, you would have to exit through that door.
Got it. Come on, for some reason I really want to roll with the R button. I don't know why.
Huh. I mean, that's... You know, it's Y in Donkey Kong Country, so...
Yeah, it makes sense. What did he say? Oh, he's just... They all have funny little voices to them. But I do hope that... I guess... It makes you think that there'll be something down there, because he just went down there.
That's just how he gets away. Like, the yellow ones create a trail that follows them.
Yeah.
The red ones you have to bounce off of. The blue one, like, creates a pattern that may be right next to it or may not be. The green ones dash away. What else is there? The purple ones barf. Those are the best.
Barf. Barf.
And here, mister, this is a Mercedes. Oh, we got 7 Kurgan again with 577. He likes that 77. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be honest now, how does a one-chip SNES compare to a non-one-chip SNES using the OSSC reverse LPF option? I was impressed getting rid of some of the softness. It's been a long time since I tested that feature.
Yeah, it's been a little while for me too.
So
I remember
honestly,
being impressed with it right off the bat.
I remember not being that impressed, but I'd have to try it again.
Yeah, it's been a little while for me too. Twitcoin Banker. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that I can see myself trying it out again sometime soon. We'll see. But it's been a long time. Chapter 4. So, when you say there's only however many levels, is there like 4 or like however many worlds plus so many chapters, or is there only a certain amount of chapters?
Each chapter has an alternate version as well.
How many chapters are there total, though?
I think I've found like 20 so far.
Oh. That's not short.
No, it's pretty substantial. I don't think I said it was short, did I?
No, I think that some people had said. I think there was... John had mentioned that, like, oh, people think that it's short because there's only this many levels.
Yeah, but they're long.
But that's... 20 levels doesn't sound like too short to me.
No, and there's like 2 versions of every level. They're like significantly different. Like, it's definitely an evolution of an idea they had with the first game that it was a cool idea that kind of fell on its face. In the first game, there's only 5 worlds in the first game, which is quite small, really. That definitely made the first game feel a little less than it could have been. even though I did like it overall. But one of the ideas that was kind of cool was you can expand the level. So after you collect a certain number of pages, you can go back out of the level and feed those pages to the book. And then there will be more stuff to do in the level. There will be new places you can go, new things you can collect. Certain things just change. And that was a cool idea, but it also kind of made your like first pass through the level feel kind of pointless, because it's like, well, you don't know what there are certain things. It's like you might try to explore it, but then it ultimately doesn't lead anywhere, or it doesn't lead all the way to some place, or something that'll be expanded later. You didn't know, like, well, how much can I do in this level before I need to leave it and expand it? So it kind of just made me wish that they were fully expanded from the beginning, but I get what they were going for. It was a good idea. But the execution wasn't really there. But with this, I think they were much more successful at that sort of oh, see, that one dropped a coin. It's not too common, but it does happen. They're much more successful in this, and hopefully you'll find an example of it pretty soon, maybe. Where you can see you can find the alternate version of the level. Which, I mean, the there are a few like kind of general ones like flood the level, but then there's also some like kind of funny and clever ones that they come up with too.
But you can play both versions if you want.
Right, but each one has its own bee to rescue, and own set of coins. So like it counts as another level. But the layout is similar, but ultimately it plays very differently.
I see Mr. Ellicard saying about adding Spanish subs, and I will. It's usually me that does it, so I'll look at it and approve it after the stream tonight. Thanks for doing that.
That's always great when we get to add those.
That was a dumb move.
I do find, I don't know if it's just like the 3D graphics throwing me off, but I do find that I have a little more difficulty being precise with like my bopping.
Yes, I mean,
you can kill those spiders with berries.
Yeah, it says.
Yeah, like it just, I don't know if it's like a mechanical difference or if it's just like the 3D hitboxes like being different to me. I don't know. Like I do struggle with that a little more in this than I do in Donkey Kong.
What? How did I not?
You have to hit that really precisely. Like you have to hit the button when you jump off of an enemy.
You can't just hold it.
No, you can't just hold it. You have to do it at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, that took me a bit to figure out, because to be honest, like Donkey Kong Country is like so just like muscle memory to me that like I can't even think off the top of my head. Like I feel like that's not how Donkey Kong Country works. Like I feel like you can just hold the button.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why I did it.
But you can't in this. Like you will not get much of a jump at all. But I honestly just like can't even think. Like it could be exactly like this, and I just like.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you hold it.
Yeah, the timing's pretty picky on this.
Are we planning on covering any of the EverDrive Pro lineup. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say.
I think people are like way more concerned with those than they should be. Like,
with the Pro versions?
Yeah. Like, especially with like the SD.
Well, the SNES right now is there's no real reason to have it right now, but there will be in the future for sure.
Right. I think some people are sour on, you know, the hardware having been changed when people believed that it wasn't going to, but I mean, it had to change, I think, because of difficulty getting some of the chips.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's why the new...
and so it's like, well, why not do something that might possibly add some functionality? I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I thought about getting a Pro, but a very generous viewer hooked me up with a regular version.
Because they bought the Pro.
They bought a Pro, yeah. So I was like, well, I don't need a Pro that bad. But it might also be that I'm just like not a heavy EverDrive user, so like it just like I'm pretty lackadaisical about, you know, upgrades. I've been, most of my EverDrives are hand-me-downs from you,
right?
After you upgraded.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I forgot it was this far into the game before you could see any of the alternate versions. Like, you kind of have a tutorial for it, but then from like this point on, like, you can kind of just discover them on your own. Oh yes, this is I mean I don't know what Corey's take so far is, but I have been in love with this game. Like, I'm probably relatively close to beating it, but I'm also kind of taking my time. But I have been very impressed.
I see someone said, love the M2 documentary with the Battle Garaga special edition. Anybody in the chat? Like, did anybody else in the chat buy it? I'm curious. We still got to get our Blu-rays made. I mean, we have the Blu-rays, but we just need to do the packaging for them. So if you have interest in the documentary, owning a physical copy of the documentary, those will be coming soon.
Yeah, not like sure how soon. Huh?
I like the music in this level. I love when it makes me think of Klonoa 2 kind of does something similar, where you go back to earlier levels and it's different.
Oh, it's got like a remix of it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's part of the story, though. I mean,
I need to play
this is too, but it's... Yeah, well, the thing is, you need to play that, and you really need to play Ys 8, because now I didn't realize that Ys 9 was out until I saw Happy Console Gamer's first impressions of it today. I'm like, what? I didn't realize it was that close to being out, and I mean, I loved Ys 8. I mean, as everyone knows, you know, it would have been my game of the year that year if I had, if Breath of the Wild didn't come out, for sure.
I wanted to play. I mean, I know it should be like so short. Like, I wanted to play. I wanted to play
right?
Ark of Nepishtim before 8. I mean, not for any particular reason, but it just had in my head I was going to do it.
Yeah, you don't really need to, especially since they don't narratively.
I know, but like, I kind of wanted to, just because like it's been on my backlog for a while, and two, like, you know, I told you I was going to like record it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For a theoretical episode that we've been wanting to do for like 2 years.
Yeah. It's It's good. It's really short. I remember it only taking me like a couple days.
Yeah.
I mean,
should do it.
You should play that right after you play this. Spend a couple of days.
There's a lot of things I should play right after this.
Well, you should commit to it. Commit to that.
What I might actually do though is, well, I mean, I'm kind of playing Phantasy Star 2 now as well, but kind of what I might do is, I mean, I know this sounds like crazy, but I kind of honestly like really feel like starting the 2D Switch version of Dragon Quest XI.
Oh right, yeah.
Which sounds crazy because I finished it on PS4 earlier this year, but on the backlog, we've got an upcoming stream directorship, and someone wanted me to play Dragon Quest 11 on Switch, and specifically some of the content that is exclusive to the 2D mode. And you have to get a little ways into the game before you can unlock that stuff.
Oh, the extra
stuff. So I kind of thought, yeah. So I mean, I kind of thought, well, you know, maybe I actually will commit to it, and
play that.
I do. I want to play that mode of it. Like, I feel like it might move kind of faster.
You think?
Than the 3D version.
I want to play that game so bad. I just feel like I have so much stuff to play, and
I mean, I know the feeling. Well, next year we're going to be in a really good groove with how we're going to be working, and we're both going to have time to just properly play some games. You know?
Yeah, I'm most afraid of the year-end video and how I won't have anything to talk about.
Well, we'll figure it out. Like, I almost feel like we could do that as an MLiG mini, maybe.
But I don't want to do that. I think they're fun to make. I think they're really fun to edit.
You've beaten some stuff on streams. I mean, you can talk about some games that you started.
I beat a bunch of games like at the beginning of the year. I can talk about games that I started and stuff like that, and stuff that really didn't grab me at all. You know, like I started Quantum Break. I'm into about Act 3. I'm like, this is like, it's not that great, and I was just bored by it. And then
wait, what game?
Quantum Break.
Oh, you were bored by it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just took me out of it, and the fact that you got to like watch this show too, and that was really annoying to me.
Like, see, I was really liking I just played like the first chapter. Like, you know, I really only meant to record just like a few minutes of footage, but I was just like,
I mean, I might still come back to it.
Really into it. Like, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that.
Challenge win.
Which is surprising because you're normally like a pretty staunch Remedy defender.
Well, I am, but I think that maybe I just wasn't in the right mindset. And I mean, I think that's been happening a lot too. I think that I've been working on stuff so much lately that the last thing I feel like doing is sitting up here in the attic playing a game or playing or like watching. I mean, like being at the computer or being in this chair or being like anywhere in this room. Like when it's I'm done, that I feel like I want to go downstairs.
Well, that's a big part of the reason that I'm moving my office upstairs. And I can tell you what, like, it already down here, like just not even having the desk where my computer was set up is like.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. The fact you're not in your white chair.
Right now. That's why I
didn't even think about it.
I could have. I want to get another mixer for upstairs. I mean, I can stream. The idea is I'll be able to stream from upstairs or downstairs.
Oh, let's do this here.
Yeah, that's why. while I'm down here. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling real positive about, you know, the setup as an office. I also bought a lamp the other day, like just like a really traditional like floor standing lamp with a lampshade, and just like put it in the corner in this room, and it's like the exact kind of light that I need. Like it just kind of helps like change my mindset and mood into just like feeling like it's just time to relax and be free for a while, you know?
Yeah.
Little things like that do a lot to help. So I'm glad to have separated things a bit. And you know, it's I've still got a long ways to go, but I think it'll be an interesting video. I'm just trying to sort of document parts of the process as I go.
28 Beans saying, this is an odd question, but how much money does it take to make a single episode? I imagine it depends on the topic.
I mean, there's no way to estimate that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends.
At all.
I mean, it depends on how easily accessible certain things are. You know, we always try to do it on real hardware, but I mean, if we can't, obviously it's more difficult to do stuff like that if we wanted to use like the actual games. Which I mean,
it's so hard to guess because everything like is like kind of cumulative. Like we keep so much of the hardware that we have, and you know, sometimes, you know, well, we might have spent like a lot of money on it and it like debuted in X, Y, or Z episode, but we can continue to use it
right
as time goes on. So then, you know, then I guess it's free at that point. I mean, I don't know how you really count it.
Yeah, I mean, like I never thought about how much something costs. I mean, a lot of times it's just like it happens to be something that we have or we buy because we have a certain interest in covering that like at some point down the road. And there's also times where we've not
like this episode we're working on that is about games within games. Like there were a couple of games that I bought at Retro World, you know, for $5 or $10, you know, pretty cheap games. And right. I was just like, oh, well, you know, we were talking about adding that one. Here it is. I'm gonna buy it so I can, you know, show the real thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that be like, well, why do you do that? And that's, we don't do that with everything, you know. Obviously, there's a lot of cases where I can, you know, I have in the case of this, you know, I have a hard drive in my PS2. I can locate stuff that way if need be.
But I like to show like the real case.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's like a bullet point on the back of the box that says, you know, like includes, you know, the original whatever.
Right. Exactly. And that's,
you know, I just like to show the real thing if possible, but
yeah. But I can understand that people will be like, you know, you don't need to do that, and it's true. Like we don't need to, and there's a lot of times where we won't. I mean, in terms of this episode, there will be times where we won't show cases to the games that we don't have on hand, and that's fine. But I mean, just in terms of our videos in general, we've really been using a lot more B-roll of the actual stuff than we did in the past. If you go back to earlier episodes, you can see this evolution of us using more and more and more B-roll shots. I mean, outside of RGB episodes. RGB episodes will usually require a lot of B-roll shots, but just our regular episodes have a lot. That said, I mean, I don't feel like this new episode is going to have a ton of B-roll in it, just because of I need to get it done for one thing.
Yeah. Well, we also kind of got a new toy.
Oh yeah.
Might encourage us to do a few shots.
Oh yeah. I mean, it already has a new toy. Last year we.
Well, it was early this year, I think, wasn't it?
No, it was like last December.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we got a $1 donation just gonna pop up on the stream from Bag of Schmidt.
Oh. How do you like this game? Asking me specifically, how do you like this game compared to Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze? I kind of hate Donkey Kong Country Returns. That was my most hyped game for that year. Like, I am a huge Donkey Kong Country fan. Like, it's like, to me, those games are like the purest platforming bliss there is. Like, the way that I think a lot of people feel about Sonic the Hedgehog is how I feel about Donkey Kong Country. Like, I freaking love those games. I think they get a lot of people look back at those games and think like, oh, they were just all about the graphics, and like completely ignore like how like pitch perfect the mechanics and level design. They are just so good. And when Retro was announced to be working on Donkey Kong Country Returns, like, I was like, oh man, that, you know, I love Metroid Prime games. And they were even saying like, oh yeah, like, you know, as soon as we heard we got the project, like, you know, everyone went and, you know, replayed the Super Nintendo games to understand what made them so great. And I'm like, yeah. See, no one was talking about how great Donkey Kong Country really was. Like, everyone's just saying like, oh, those games are, you know, they kind of aged bad. Like, no, they didn't. They're amazing. I'm like, yes, these people, they get it. They get it. They're really gonna nail it. And they did not get it. Like, they just recycled the music from Donkey Kong Country, recycled, you know, a lot of, you know, sort of the same generic kinds of environments, and the mechanics and level design were all wrong.
Well, a lot of it for me, the reason I only played the first one when it came out, and I played 2 and 3 on the Wii on Virtual Console. But I hated the motion controls, and then Returns.
Oh, and there was like the whole thing where you like had to like stop and like blow the flowers, and that just killed the momentum.
Yeah,
totally killed the momentum. Ugh. But yeah, I did not enjoy it at all. Like, I'm normally very open-minded about, you know, what a game is or what it tries to be, but I had some rants about Donkey Kong Country Returns. Like, I'm normally so easygoing about games, but that was like one of those rare instances where I almost felt a little betrayed. Like, I was freaking upset about that game. I beat it, but I wasn't happy about it. It was very wrong. But anyway, like, obviously, you know, I had a few years to make peace with that experience, and understood that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze was, you know, it wasn't going to be the same thing as old Donkey Kong Country.
And you like Tropical Freeze. I mean, Tropical Freeze,
obviously I went into it
annoying stuff anyways. They got rid of a lot of that annoying stuff anyways.
It did. It got rid of like the blowing and stuff. It did have stronger level design, stronger aesthetics. Like, it actually like had new music for one. Like, you know, it had an original David Wise soundtrack.
Right.
It did much more interesting things with its level concepts and environments and things. Like, it tried to be an original game, and it had better mechanics, better level design. It was a much better game. It was not quite like the old ones, but it was a much better game. This, I don't think the level design feels quite different to me from the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Countries. A way that I always describe Donkey Kong Country level design is it's kind of mathematical. Like it increases, like it presents you with a situation. You know, there'll be a new enemy. They'll throw one at you. And then a little later, there's going to be two, and then three. And, you know, it's level design you can trust. You know, you can sort of, you know, get this sense of what's coming ahead. And, like, it just makes this momentum that you can roll and jump and bounce off of all these things that it just feels right. This level design it's not that mathematical sort of thing. It's a little more exploratory, and that's why I say it feels like an evolution. It feels like you can put the water on this. I see. Now you've got one. There's a cracked wall to the west.
Yep.
It feels like where they would have gone if they like tried to experiment with Donkey Kong, like I said, like in the Wii era.
Oh, I see. You just lose a couple of quills. Here, big hit.
What do you hate more, Donkey Kong Country Returns or New Super Mario Brothers? Donkey Kong Country Returns. New Super Mario Brothers is inoffensive. It is not exciting. It's kind of boring, but it's inoffensive. Donkey Kong Country Returns offended.
Is that the only time you can really think of having that strong of a reaction to something like of disappointment? Do you guys think there should have been a standalone Blitzball game? No.
No. No. You know, I was really consistent at 100%ing the Final Fantasy games up to that point. You know, I do like, you know, one
Blitzball
one
was you were gonna I even did the dodging the lightning bolts, and I wouldn't do any more Blitzball.
Yeah. I don't remember if I dodged the lightning bolts or not. I don't think I did, because I got Tidus's ultimate weapon, and then I like realized that, oh, I'm gonna have to play like a ton of Blitzball to get Waka's ultimate.
And you know, it would be one thing if I even used Waka. I didn't use him like in the game at all, basically.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, so I always did like, you know, my normal playthrough, and then I'd do like my 100% playthrough, and that Final Fantasy X broke my streak there. I came close with 12. That Zodiac Spear nonsense is pretty crazy.
Oh, because it's missable right at the beginning, right?
The Zodiac Spear is like, there are certain treasure chests that like there's no way to know without a guide, really. Certain treasure chests, if you open them, you can't get the Zodiac Spear later.
Right, that's what I mean. And one of them was right at the very beginning of the game, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. And I did that on a replay one time, where I think I successfully... I might have even got the Zodiac Spear, actually. I may have got it on one of my replays. But then, like, I realized there was a lot more to do to 100% the game than I realized, because I think at the time I thought all of the side quests were tied to the hunt system. But then I think I realized, like, oh, there's actually kind of a lot more things you need to do.
Yeah, I mean,
like that was like kind of the revelation I had with 10 is like I was all ready to 100%, and then it's like, oh, I played Blitzball, and then like 10-2 was the same situation where I had all the intentions in the world on a replay to 100% it. Then I realized, oh, like I have to do a whole bunch of chocobo raising stuff, and I really should have started that earlier in the game, because now I don't know how I'm even gonna get going on that. I hate chocobo raising.
Yeah. But yeah, I did the Thunderbolts. But the lightning bolts didn't bother me at the time. I mean, I thought it was ridiculous, obviously.
But then you didn't. But then you gave up because you would have had to play more Blitzball.
Yeah, I would have. I would have had to play any amount of Blitzball beyond the game that you're required to play.
I know.
I didn't play play it at all.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, I remember like I had the best of intentions when I was like, oh, you know, before the game came out, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to like this Blitzball stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a fair chance. And I remember just like poring over every word in the tutorial. And I was like, okay. And oh gosh, that was a bad place for one of those quills. But you can see how like the ways that they vary the levels, like can be, you know, there can be a lot of different ways they do it. But yeah, some people love Blitzball, but the thing that got me about it was, like, I read the tutorial very carefully, and I'm like, you know, it probably took like 40 minutes or something. I'm like, okay, all right. And then once the game actually started, like, it felt like nothing I just read applied.
You what?
Once I actually started playing Blitzball, it felt like none of it applied.
Yeah.
Like, none of, like, what I read.
Ah! Run! Oh, come on.
Oh.
You know, I was at I see the QB Prime is saying, do you like Yoshi's Island? I think it's one of the SNES's best platformers. I just noticed that because I was looking at Yoshi's Island DS today when I was at Arcade Legacy. I was there with my son, and he's like, "Will you please get this? It's got Baby Mario in a diaper. Please get this. Please buy this." I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that.
Like, why?
He was just really obsessed with the fact that it was like Baby Mario, and he had a diaper on. He was like,
that's like kind of weird.
Yeah. He's like, please get this. It's like, at first he's like, you know how I know that's Baby Mario? I said, how? He's like, because he's got a diaper on. Yeah, he's 4. I mean, what do you expect? But still, it was just funny.
Like, I feel like though, like as kids get older, like they want to like distance themselves even further from like baby stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's only 4. I mean, he's like excited about this. So there's this big installation. I mean, I think that he thinks that diapers are funny because he's really all about like butts and poop right now, like just talking about butts and poop. And so he, you know, Obviously, they're like related.
Sure.
I was a little disappointed though because at the Blink thing that we were just at, there was an installation. It was just like in the middle of this park, and it was like 20 toilets, just 20 toilets, and when you open them, and they made like they were like wired up to like some sort of speaker system or something, but they made a very loud creaking sound when you open them up, when you open the lid. And there's like all this like light and smoke coming out of them, and they really encourage you like sit on them and take a photo of you sitting on it. And like I was, but when I saw them, I said to my wife, I said, you know, Monty and I are gonna go over here because he's gonna be so excited about this, and he was terrified. He was terrified by it. Did not. He was like, I'm not sitting on that. I'm not even getting close to it. So I talked my daughter into doing it, and she went over there, but she like did not.
These were just like toilets, like not to use.
No. There's like lights and like the smoke coming out of it. So I was like, I need to get a picture. Oh, can I go in here? Oh, I can. Did you know? Oh, it's just...
I'm convinced that gate next to him can be bombed open, but I haven't figured out a way to do it yet.
Oh, those are the bees. Not the bees.
You can jump on top of those tents.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. But yeah, I mean, it was fun though. There's some pretty cool things to check out. I took some photos because, like I said, I just got a new phone and it's got some pretty impressive capabilities in terms of photos. Oh, I see what I gotta do here. But I mean, kind of on that same thing, we have to like, someone's coming tomorrow to look at our sewer pipes, because one of our sewer pipes going down from one of the bathrooms has a crack in it. Not cool. Not cool. Oh, I see. I can get. There's other pathways to get to those. I assume.
Yeah. Well, JJ John, I can't say for sure if my answer to that was necessarily a good answer. Maybe some people in the chat can give more advice. He had asked in a question, you know, would $300 be about right for a RGB modded NES? Like, I'm assuming like just like buying it, you know,
straight up.
Straight up.
I'm pretty sure that
I guess so. Like, I mean, it's been so long. Like, I feel like that's probably about right.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably about right too. How did I supposed to go, Dito?
Let's see. Oh, there's a paywall up north. Can you get to it?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Can you, well, yeah, go check that out first, I guess.
Oh, I can get price spray water on that too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you would have to even get to the paywall. Before the stream is over, you should attempt the impossible layer.
Okay.
I actually haven't done it myself.
Oh, really?
After, you know, after the, you know, there's, you know, that initial scripted thing. You didn't quite get to it though because you died on capital
right.
B.
I'm covering a lot of the map, but it seems like there's a lot that I have not uncovered.
There are still some clouds on my map, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to go away or not. Like around the far edges.
That would annoy me if they don't. I hate it when.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they should, but like I also kind of almost feel like there's not a lot of options for like how it could expand further.
Oh, so the new analog announcement is on Wednesday, I guess. What they were hinting at on their Twitter. I'll be curious to see what it ends up being. Hopefully it's something we can test out again.
I always like to do that.
Yeah.
Announcement text was P Green. It's got to be Xbox, right?
Yeah.
FPGA Xbox. That would be hilarious if they jumped to that.
We got a $10 donation. It looks like from our good friend Paul Sutton.
From Paul Sutton. Big ups to my favorite e-baggers.
Well, you know, we do what we can. Is that gonna go? It's not gonna. Thank you.
That's a good question. When will Coury play Prism Chapter 1, The Dark Universe?
Gosh, I know. I forgot. Like, I think I had meant to do it.
I like literally forget about that existing. And,
like,
you know, unless we're reminded in the chat. And then, like, every time it comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see Coury stream that. And then I completely forget by the time the stream's over.
I'll do that for my next stream then. Okay, they're gonna remember to do that. I'll play, because he's only the guy who donated money like a year ago for me to buy that. He's been waiting for it. I'd be sad if he doesn't get to see it. I wonder if he checks in each week to see if that's what I'm gonna be playing.
I mean, I'm not sure if it's the same guy that's asking that right now. It might be.
It is not. It is not. I'd know his name if I saw it. I can't remember right now. Yeah, supposed to be the best, the most hiddenest of gems on the PS2. Gems don't get any more hidden than that. There's something I recently, when we were at Retro World a couple weeks ago, there was one PS2 hidden gem. I mean, I'm not sure if it's actually like a PS2 hidden gem, but it looked really cool. That I want to check out, because one of the guys in the booths next to us, he was like a local Connecticut YouTuber. Had a video of like one of his Let's Plays playing at his booth. I'm not sure how many if his channel is that big or not, but it was a Let's Play of him playing the PS2 version of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, and it looked the game looked awesome.
Oh.
Is anybody in the chat, are you familiar with it or have played it? Is it in fact a hidden gem, or is it not as good as it looks? Because it looks really cool. And I looked for it, and there was only one person had it, but it was at that one vendor who was extremely overpriced for everything. So I wonder if it's an expensive game or not, because everything that vendor was selling
Was it the one across from Carlson?
Yes, everything was in like a shrink wrap.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what they were thinking.
But either way, I mean, has anybody in the chat played the PS2 version of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex? Is it good? Because it looks cool. It's all right.
All right. This game is supposed to give you modern DKC vibes. That is exactly its mission in life.
But if I do see Ghost in a Shell someplace, I'll probably get it. Just because it looks kind of cool. It looked like a more of a ground level third person Metal Gear Solid.
We have the Dot Hack collection for PS2. I had the first Dot Hack game back in the day. I played like a couple of hours of it maybe, but I was kind of bored by it and never continued it.
Or do you think it was more, is that when you were still trying to beat your backlog?
That was definitely in that phase, so it's possible I didn't give it
I think blew past a lot of stuff and got rid of a lot of stuff that it didn't immediately strike a chord with you, so you wanted to, like, you got rid of it so you didn't have to play it, like, so you didn't play
and a lot of those I regretted. Like every once in a while I wonder about, maybe I wonder if Dot Hack ended up being any good. I have no idea.
What was the deal with the new one? The Recode that came out? Because that's on clearance at Best Buy. It's like $16 or something like that.
Really? Is it the original series? Like wasn't it like a 6-part story on PS2 or something?
It's 4, and then there was, well, I mean,
like I don't know if the later games were like all that connected or not, but like I want to say like the first games on PS2 were like
well, the first 4 were like they're
like one story.
Yes.
Oh, for the love of the game has $6. Thank you, saying happy 20th anniversary to Threads of Fate. Say something nice or else. I will absolutely say something nice about Threads of Fate.
Yeah. I thought it's an excellent game.
And it's
the summer that it came out, as part of the summer of Square, and honestly, it's probably my favorite of all. It was Threads of Fate, Legend of Mana, and Chrono Cross. At the time, it was probably the one that I spent the most time with because I played through both stories on it. Even
I still have not played through Rouge's story. When I first got the game, I started off playing Rouge's story. And it's not that I didn't think it was alright, but I just, for whatever reason, just did not get that far into it and stopped playing for a while. And then later I restarted on Mint's story and loved it. Of course, Mint is a lot more fun. Like that is very much, I think, the intent of the two characters. But it's a game that I like to show. I wish I still had my save file. I don't think I have my save file anymore. Or if I do have it, like maybe it's like not anywhere useful. I forget. But anyway, like it is a game I like to show when I can, though, because it's a really good looking PS1.
Yeah, Great soundtrack. I love the town theme.
I like the forest theme.
Yeah, I used that in the CRT episode, which I think in December is going to be 3 years old or 4 years old at this point.
Curse of Darkness.
I beat Curse of Darkness. I have not beat Lament of Innocence though.
Oh really? Really? People are talking about Curse of Darkness.
It's not a great game.
That is a game that I actually relatively recently bought the Xbox version. I've previously owned the PS2 version twice and got rid of it both times. Like the first time I was like, wow, I cannot get into this at all, and I don't see it going anywhere that I'm going to enjoy. And then a friend was like, "Oh, I actually liked it," you know, and gave me his copy. That was PS2 again, and I was like, "Oh, yep, I remember why I didn't like this," and I've forgotten again why it was exactly I didn't like it, but I just remember it not being fun at all. And this is coming from someone who did like Lament of Innocence. I feel Lament of Innocence would be maybe not the most amazing game to revisit, but I thought it was pretty good at the time. Definitely very repetitive, especially visually repetitive, but I enjoyed it.
See that Paul says I'm not a fan of God of War either, and you know I don't think I really liked God of War until I played the second one.
The second one was actually the first one I played.
Yeah, the second one was much better than the first one.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely I still, other than I record like I don't know like the first hour of the game for footage in the 4K episode. But outside of that, I still haven't gotten around to playing the new one, and it seems really good. But of the original Greek mythology games, 2 is easily the best. I in terms of gameplay though, I have to be honest. I thought I kind of like Lords of Shadow more than God of War. At least God of War 3. Like I thought God of War 3 was kind of a disappointment. And then Lords of Shadow came out, and I'm like, this is a better God of War game than God of War. Like I thought, like, don't get me wrong, it exists in a continuity far outside of real Castlevania, and doesn't have a whole lot in common with Castlevania. But I thought it was a visually very interesting game on its own. There were definitely things I didn't like about it, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty well made.
Oh, I thought maybe I'd be able to get that over here, but not quite. Oh, I gotta go this way. That's why. Yeah, I still need to play Lords of Shadow 2.
Me too. I've heard that it's kind of Metroidvania-y, which I'm guessing not very many people played it, so I feel like a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know. And that definitely has me a lot more excited to play it.
I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. I've not played the 2D Lords of Shadow though. Like I almost feel like bringing that closer in line with regular Castlevania kind of turns me off. Like it's better if it kind of stays its own thing. Rerez reviewed this game. I assume you're talking about Yooka-Laylee. Didn't have much nice to say. Well, I really like it. I'm, you know, probably relatively close to the end. I mean, the end could be any time, but I really like it. It is a huge step up from the first game, which I liked reasonably well. But this is just it feels like they're touching that old Rare magic again, for me. I probably would have gotten Lords of Shadow the non 3DS version if there was a physical version of the HD version, which I don't think there is. I probably would have got that, but not a priority. But I do want to play 2. I'm just curious, since it surprised me to hear it was Metroidvania-ish. To be honest, I don't really understand why Lords of Shadow 2 exists, because, like, that's just, I feel like Konami being really out of touch, because while I personally mostly liked the first Lords of Shadow, no one liked it. No one liked that game. So, but then Konami was saying, like, oh, it actually sold pretty well, so let's make a sequel. And I'm like, really? Did it sell well? I guess it must have, but like, I basically never heard anyone say anything positive about it except me. Picard was actually one of my least favorite parts of Lords of Shadow, because I didn't like his narration between levels. Like, it felt like one thing I didn't like about Lords of Shadow was it felt like they were like trying to paint Gabriel as being this like really like super angry guy. And, you know, everything was just sending him down this spiral of darkness, and it was kind of like,
right.
Honestly, like, I thought he was kind of dealing with the situation as best he could, but like, it was all in the writing. They were like, oh, you know, Picard is telling you he's like, you know, going down to the depths of despair, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know. Like,
I totally forgot about that.
Like, it seemed like he was doing all right.
Are you talking about like Patrick Stewart talking about like his in between level narratives? Is that
yeah?
Where it was like, it was so over the top every time.
It was, yeah. I felt like it was out of tone with what was actually happening.
Well, I feel like they said, okay, well, we got Patrick Stewart, we got to have something like crazy for him to read.
Well, I mean, you know, they got Patrick Stewart for Oblivion, and like, he dies within an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like the whole plot of the game, because Patrick Stewart dies.
Oh. Well,
it's like the impetus for everything that happens in Oblivion.
We're not gonna make the mistake as Bethesda did.
Well, then they had Sean Bean as his son.
Oh, well, I mean, it would make sense if he died then. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll leave that one unspoiled.
Okay. Well,
That is kind of whatever is to become of his fate is kind of, you know, the climax of the game.
Oh.
But no, Patrick Stewart dying is like, I mean, that like wasn't a secret at all. Like even when the game was like before it was released, because like the whole plot is like the king dies and has no heir, and that causes the gates of oblivion to open. But it turned out he had an illegitimate son that, you know, could potentially, you know, close the gates of oblivion. And that's Sean B.
Oh, come on. Jeez. I was getting these loops of death. I just die.
That's what I felt like I kept doing when I turned on that tonic that
like that?
That reduced the checkpoints. Like I felt like I almost played worse. And like I turned it off, and then, you know, I'd like get through the level without dying, or at least get really far into it without dying. Oh, that Moon RPG that's coming to Switch. I had never heard of the PS1 original version, but I've been hearing.
Oh yeah, it's on the
people talking about it.
Right. Is it coming out in the US?
I think so, because I heard that what's his face, a guy that writes for Kotaku is actually doing the script for it.
Oh really?
What's his name? I probably forgot his name. Tim whatever.
Right.
Which, like, what I've heard about the game, like his sense of humor, huh?
Tim Rogers.
Tim Rogers, yeah. His sense of humor,
who I think might be the funniest man on the internet.
I mean, I feel like his very dry sense of humor would fit well with what I've heard about.
It's very unique. It's like very dry, but it's also very descriptive, which is what I liked about it.
It's excessively like.
Yeah, I know that's kind of what he was known for, like about his like super long reviews back in the day. But I think he is easily the funniest. Like I laugh at his stuff so much. I think he's the funniest person.
I have to be in the right frame of mind for his stuff, because you know you're in for a long haul.
I mean, I don't even feel that way. I just feel like I just feel like I'm gonna hear I'm gonna think about things in a way that I don't normally think about things.
Yeah, like what I heard about that Moon game is just like it's like the hero saved the world and but kind of wrecked it or something. Like you're like
that's
like apparently you are playing the game after the hero already saved the world or whatever,
right,
but apparently he vandalized all the houses and stuff, so they actually play it straight with by parodying some of the weird stuff that RPG hero does.
That's funny. I can appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's why Tim Rogers is probably a very good fit for the translation.
Right. Oh shoot. You spend mostly undoing what the hero does, Making the villagers happy, then the hero catches on to you. That's funny. That's.
I had never heard of the game though. I guess it was considered a bit of a cult hit. I guess it was originally planned for localization. I hope it looks better than Grandia though. Grandia, the Switch port of that, or whatever systems it's on. I know it's on Switch. I don't know if it's on anything else.
We wanted to do a mini on the Grandia HD collection. We actually I sent a message to Gung Ho about it, and they asked for my information.
I feel like
then I think that maybe they looked at our channel and said like these guys are going to be real hard on what we did probably, and never got back to me.
I feel like though stuff like that though, like it's stuff that we could really just do at a drop of a hat when we felt like it. When
I think it's an excuse.
When the doc series is done and we can get into this groove that we want to.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's like a much bigger commitment now. It's like, oh, I don't know. We might not have time to do that right now. Well, like I think once the doc series is out, we're going to be doing like most of the time. I think we're going to be able to hit 2 regular episodes a month and 2 minis,
and at least 1 mini a month for sure. At least 1 mini, probably 2 minis. I think that's I think what we're going to be able to do.
That's what we want,
and not feel like and have time. We'll have time for everything else too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel very feel very good about that's going to be the case.
Oh, cool! They put you out on the alternate version of the level too. They did that for me too, and I at first I wasn't sure if it was a glitch, but I think that's just how this level works. Did you notice that?
Yeah, they put me on the other side of the gate, right?
Right, which is the alternate version of the level.
Oh, that's cool. I get.
It's pretty short actually. If you want to do it, if I recall, I think that was the alternate of that was pretty short. It was a little tough. Like you have to be fast, but there's plenty of checkpoints, so it's not very long.
I'm going the other way, right? Whoa. I guess that's not where I go. Am I wearing a Ricky shirt? What's a Ricky shirt?
Your friend Ricky?
No, I don't think so. I can't imagine.
I mean, he makes shirts,
Ricky
right?
Ricky from Trailer Park Boys. I've never seen it, so maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know. It's not intentional. This is tough. Are you sure it's that?
It wasn't that tough for me. There's actually a secret exit from this level too.
See, I don't even understand how you get to that. It's like I can go through that door or something.
Whew, 6 episodes a month? I think that would be overkill. I don't think that's possible.
Can you do 6 episodes? This make it a lot more easier to understand content. Yeah, I mean, I think that if the idea of doing 6 episodes, I mean, if we could do it, that like honestly didn't affect our day-to-day life, then I'd say okay, we can do 6 episodes. But I mean, I can't imagine a situation where that becomes detrimental to our health.
Yeah, like we would have to like give up normal episodes. It would have to all be minutes.
Yeah.
Even then, I think that would be pretty extreme.
Yes. Yeah. I got none of the barfing guys this time. Oh, I got some.
Well, oh! I think I was still using the only one checkpoint per level when I did this one. I think that's why I said it was short, because it wasn't that far. I think to the checkpoint. Or you have to wait for that one to start moving.
Yeah. But I mean, like I think when we're in that position, I think that you'll have the good thing is we'll be able to, in terms of minis, we can be a little bit more experimental with the things that we try. Or that we do them on, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that's not how I... Well, you might get some just like regular like new game release episodes if we felt like doing that.
Yeah, if we felt like it. It's always going to have to be something we feel like.
Yeah. You know what I mean. I don't know if it's possible to get all these. Oh, I found the secret exit. Oh, I think. Yeah. That's cool if there's a secret exit.
Yeah, but you didn't save the B.
That's okay.
So if you want to get the B, you still have to. I mean, the secret exit gets you another B.
I got this B.
Yeah.
Not
But
the
there's
Bs.
still a B in the level if you want to get it.
I wonder if there is a not the bees joke in this game someplace. It seems like there'd have to be a not the bees joke. People reacting to gaming to non-gaming news. Like in terms of gaming news, like I feel like I barely even follow gaming news at all anymore.
I mean, I pay a little attention, but I definitely don't pay as much attention as I used to. Yeah, I just need to have a shocked face with a wide outline for all thumbnails.
Yeah. Oh. I found my secret entrance. Is it through here? There's the key.
Oh, I think was that the locked gate to the southeast.
Is it?
I think it was a locked gate. Other way.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, like the only real, I guess, actual gaming news that I don't even watch it that often is like I watch Spawn Wave stuff here and there. But I mean, just for the most part, like I find my life to be a lot more enjoyable if I don't like pour over every like little thing that happens in the gaming industry.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know, I feel like I enjoy games more if I don't heavily focus on what is happening right now in the gaming industry. I'd rather look at like at stuff that happened back in the day.
I almost like it was really sad to hear about the. Did you hear about the Game Informer layoffs?
Yes. Yeah.
Like it was really sad to hear about that because like I had actually been like kind of toying with the idea of like, you know, maybe I should like get a Game Informer subscription or something because I feel like it would be so much more fulfilling to like just like have a news dump once a month like
Yeah.
you used to. You know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, you still can. It's not going anywhere.
I know, but like it just sort of made me feel like, man, like the like they lost like half their staff. Like I wonder like what that's going to do to like morale and like if that's going to like affect the quality of the magazine. Not that I really know much about how good it is or is right now, you know, because I haven't read Game Informer in a long time. Like really, I just read it, you know, back in the Funko Land days when a friend of mine had a subscription. You know, I would look at his issues every now and then. But
I like the music on this level. This is definitely the best music I've heard so far. Oh, I thought I could bump that.
oh yeah, those the alternate version of this level is windy, so those like blow in the wind. The alternate version of this level is when I decided to quit the one checkpoint tonic. I did finish it that way, but it was tough.
Yeah, I love reading old magazines. It's like definitely one of my favorite things to do these days. And if I just have some downtime, it's fun. Or I'm waiting for something.
Oh wow! Just got 1999 from good old Scott Davis.
Thank you. Always good to see when Scott makes it to a stream.
Yeah, he says your next stream with John of Digital Foundry. Can you tackle Advent Rising on Xbox and its Steam stable version? Oops, scrolled up. The game was ambitious yet broken on release and became a failed start to a trilogy. It kills me that we only have this one entry. Huh.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? Like on the cover it says you could win like $10,000 or something like that. Like they had a contest for like a $10,000 or something.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean I just mention it to him in general, like maybe it seems like something he would like to do a video on. Also written by Scott Carr. Interesting.
It does sound like the kind of game John would be interested in.
Yeah. I'll mention it to him. Unfortunately, that's a lot harder for us to do comparisons. I mean, I found out that he's going to be here, with days he's going to be here, and we'll definitely be doing at least one stream. Like, we should try to do more than one if we can. But it's always... Oh, I guess that's not the way I go.
You can make those spin to make the spiked snail fall down, though.
But I have no idea what we're going to do for our yearly comparison stream.
In terms of things that you already have access to, I wonder...
Yeah, I mean, we'll figure it out. This game oozes... Oh, you're talking about Advent Rising. For some reason, I saw you said the game. For some reason, I thought you said this game. Like, what?
It uses the Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, I'm familiar with it.
I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I see some people are still talking about some game magazines. Game magazines are getting kind of pricey on eBay.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I'm not able to get like the lots of... Yeah. I was kind of... there's things I was like, oh, I would like to buy that, but I can't buy like game magazines at like $15 an issue, unfortunately. I mean, I would like to, but I can't.
What do we think of the Atari VCS controversy?
I know that there's something saying that, like, so what is the deal with the controversy? Like, I know that it's not like they showed the motherboard and it's just like a mess, and now nobody thinks that it's real. Like,
yeah, I mean, all I heard was that apparently the guy who had been contracted to actually design the hardware hadn't been paid in a long time, and he quit. And then they said, "Oh, we've actually got lots of stuff to show." When beyond that, I haven't heard anything. It's definitely giving flashbacks to retro VGS, though.
Yeah. Undamned, we have a whole bunch of stuff shot for a EGM documentary, and there was a point where we thought that, like, we were convinced that maybe it wasn't the best idea that we do that yet, because we had gotten some, I don't want to say like threats about it, but we'd gotten like people.
Well, at first we wanted to like make it a multi-magazine thing, and now we're just not really sure like what.
No, I think it's gonna be an EGM thing, I think, at this point. Because we have so many interviews shot, and several of those interviews would be criminal for those not to be seen, like, right now. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you agree too. I mean, you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was an incredible experience.
What am I supposed to do here?
You cause the red ones jump when you jump.
Oh, I see. But I mean, we shot like an amazing 2-hour interview with Ed Semrad, who is editor-in-chief of the magazine. I'm really only interested in the documentary or whatever we end up doing with it. We'll only cover up until Zip Davis bought it. I don't have anything really. I don't have any interest in the Zip Davis years beyond mentioning that they happened. Yes, I mean, I think that I want to do EGM. Like, I think that I feel like I could just roll with it and see what I come up with, and I feel like I might be able to do something really cool with it without it being like a huge production. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well I mean, so much B-roll can just be like magazine shots.
Yeah. But I mean, even if it's just like taking those interviews and editing them up into stuff, I feel like, is that something I can? Maybe not. Who is Sushi X? Sushi X was actually this guy, Ken Williams, who wrote for the magazine. Yes, I mean he was like a regular editor for the magazine too, but he was also Sushi X, and that's actually like that's something we cover in the and that we talked to. We interviewed. Sushi X, but he's like the main Sushi X.
Right.
He was the main Sushi X. He was Sushi X for the important years. Oh, I can use that to get right up here. Or not.
Are we doing an updated Wii GameCube HDMI comparison video? I mean, we did an updated GameCube video last year, and we're going to do a dedicated Wii episode.
Yeah, I
hopefully in the relatively near future.
Yeah,
I think going to happen after the documentary series is done.
I'm pretty sure that the last thing Tri has any interest in doing is another GameCube episode.
that was miserable. I mean, maybe we can do like some sort of mini when the Insurrection Kirby cable comes out.
Yeah, I could see that being a mini.
Yeah, but you know, there's not enough new developments to really do a whole new video.
Yeah. Oh, we are gonna do another controllers episode. I'm gonna try and do another controllers episode before Christmas. It's gonna be on first party controllers though, not more third party.
I feel like you've gotten a lot further into this game in one night than I thought you would.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I'm obviously missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think you're being quite as, like, meticulous with your exploration as I was. You should take one crack at the impossible lair before you quit.
Okay.
See what happens.
Can I jump to it, or do I gotta go all the way back around to it?
I don't know if.
Yeah, I can warp.
I don't know if there is. Is there quick travel?
Yep.
Oh, I guess there is. Never tried.
Here we go.
I'm not much of a quick travel guy. Like I mean, I will in games where it makes sense, but I also I just kind of like just walking around in games. I wouldn't say we've decided between Wii and Dreamcast for the next RGB 200.
I'm thinking it's going to be Dreamcast.
I
think that it's going to be Dreamcast because you want to do Wii, and I think that you won't have time to do it this year.
Well, I mean, I don't know if with our planned editing how we're planning to divide editing work between us. I don't know if it necessarily matters. Like, and certainly I will probably be doing most of the testing, research, and material gathering for the Wii episode. So regardless of whether it's me that edits it or you that edits it, like I need significant time available to work on that episode, and I just don't have it.
Right.
Oh, we got $2 from Joey. Thank you. Played any Dragon Quest 11 on Switch? I've only really tested it out so far, and I think it looks quite impressive. And I'm actually I was saying early in the stream, in fact, I think I will I think I will start the 2D mode relatively soon, maybe. Oh, that's cool. So the bees like carry you up if you fall into a pit. Did falling into the pit cost you a bee?
Yes. Oh, look at that.
Oh, you can hold on to that. Yeah, that. It's not super obvious. When I first ran across a platform like that, it surprised me.
How come I can't jump?
Can you jump like sideways to that next one?
No.
Well, you're up at the ceiling.
I know, but even there we go. But even now, it's still like dropping. Oh. The music's really good.
Oh, you're out of bees. I bet I could beat it, like where I'm at now.
Probably.
Like I've got like 3/4 of the bees, probably.
Epic fail.
Really, Platonic. So you got 10% through.
That's.
I think there's 48 bees.
I mean, with enough practice, you can probably do it.
Will we be getting Pokemon Sword and Shield? I doubt Coury will, because he's not really played any Pokemon games. I am. I'm looking forward to it because Pokemon on console, I don't give a crap about the whole National Dex thing. I actually don't know which version I'm going to get. I have both pre-ordered because I pre-ordered both with the Gamers Club, and I'm going to be keeping one of them, and some friends will pay me back for the other copy. So I don't know which one I'm going to take. In terms of starter, I can't even remember off the top of my... Oh! I didn't know you could get up there that way. I got there another way. I mean, it would definitely be between water and grass type, but I don't know which one I'll choose in the end. Something I forgot that I did. I might do water. Because something I forgot I did, and then remembered when I loaded up my Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, which I guess is the last one I've played. I loaded up my Alpha Sapphire save to to record footage one time, and I forgot that I played it by like quote unquote gym leader rules, and I only had grass type Pokemon. So maybe I'll do water type and like only do water type Pokemon, which would actually be kind of challenging, I would say, at the start of the game. You want me to tell you what to do?
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
First section at the bottom.
I see. There's a hole in it, right? Or
Yeah.
I can blow it up.
It is blown up.
Right here?
You already blew it up.
Oh,
No. All the way to the upper right. Yeah, you know, I was thinking just the other day, in fact, like, I feel that, you know, even though people associate the Wii with, you know, shovelware or whatever you want to call it, I think that its library is stronger than the GameCube's. That's just me personally. I don't know if a lot of people would really agree with that.
Right, what's stronger than this?
I think the Wii has a stronger library than the GameCube.
Oh.
I mean, I've got more Wii games than GameCube games. I mean, points in the GameCube's favor. It's got Wind Waker is a better Zelda than any of the Twilight Princess is on both, of course. Wind Waker is, you know, is better than the Zeldas on Wii. And Metroid Prime 1 is really, really good. Of course, you can get the trilogy on Wii. And Metroid Prime 3, I feel like Metroid Prime 3 does not get enough love. But I really loved it.
I mean, as someone who's
I only played it one time, but I loved it.
As someone who's only played 2 and 3 one time, I thought it was a lot better than 2.
Oh, it was way better than 2. But then you look at like Mario, like Galaxy 2, way better than Sunshine.
Oh yeah, a lot better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Galaxy 1, like, it very well could be my favorite Mario game.
It's pretty darn good. I mean, there's just so many great games on it, and you know, stuff like Sin and Punishment Star Successor that people don't give nearly enough credit to. F-Zero GX is not on the Wii. That's also a really strong one. But I bet you if I put together a list of my top GameCube games and my top Wii games, there will be more games on the Wii list.
I'm playing in black and white. I want to see what it looks like.
There's a dot matrix printer one that I tried that's pretty cool. Like it's pretty effective looking. Fun Katos is really good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, y'all know I'm not afraid to be a little biased toward Nintendo. I mean, I grew up with it, you know. I mean, but you know, Nintendo is a huge part of my formative years and everything, right?
Yeah, I feel like it runs at 30 frames per second.
It does when you use the filters. It runs at 30 frames. I don't know if the PS4 and Xbox versions are like that. It's weird, but whatever.
Yeah, it's like almost hard to follow when it's like this.
But yeah, I mean, hey, I love I love the GameCube, but it isn't. It feels like a weird era for Nintendo. Like aside from a few areas where they really knocked it out of the park, I feel like it was not Nintendo's strongest area.
I mean, looking at the games that I have, I probably agree with you.
What's my Nintendo console ranking? Probably. I mean, NES and Super Nintendo are like almost impossible to choose between. I possibly slightly lean NES, but
That's something you've kind of gone back and forth on.
yeah, I go back and forth. I feel like I always say that SNES is the most essential console, but I still like feel like the NES is the most important to me. But I guess I would say, you know, NES and Super Nintendo practically tied. After that, it'd be hard to not say N64, I guess. And then, like, you know, obviously Switch is kind of ongoing, so it's I really like the Switch a lot, so it's hard to say, like, you know, Switch and Wii maybe, you know, roughly tied right now, although I suspect Switch will pull ahead in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Switch has already topped everything else except for SNES and
NES.
Yeah, NES. Yeah.
Then after that, probably GameCube and then Wii U. Like, if it weren't for the Switch getting so many Wii U ports, you know, there would probably be a devil's advocate part of me that would want to vouch for the Wii U over the GameCube. Don't get me wrong. I mean, saying that makes it sound like I don't like the GameCube. I love the GameCube. It is less essential to me than a lot of the other Nintendo systems. That's all.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I feel the same way looking at, you know, the games that I have in the GameCube. I don't feel like there's anything that I don't have that I want. Basically.
And I say this as a person who bought way more GameCube games than PS2 games back in its day.
Yeah.
And really, the PS2 is... I've only really opened... I mean, I over the years got more and more games, but my library has exploded a lot more on PS2 in just the past couple of years. Really around the time that I was like working on or gearing up to work on the PS2 RGB episode. Like I came to a much greater appreciation of the PS2. And I wouldn't have said so back in the day. I definitely would have said back in the day I preferred the GameCube. But today I definitely would say I prefer the PS2.
Yeah. Ghost Squad. I gave you Ghost Squad, didn't I? Didn't I give you a copy of Ghost Squad?
You did. I was looking at on my shelf just the other day. I haven't popped it in yet. That's just like an on rails shooter by Sega, right?
Yeah, it has like a whole bunch of unlockables, so I guess. Jeez, it's almost midnight.
Clock Tower 3 on PS2. That is a very interesting game. I played that last year. That is a game, all right.
Does it give you a percentage of like completion?
I don't don't know. I actually haven't
11 of
maybe
5, 11 of 48 Bs.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if your save file, like if you backed out to the title screen. Like I actually haven't even backed out of the game since I started it. Like I've just kept it on sleep mode. I haven't played anything else. I do like how the Platonic logo calls back to the Rareware logo. The blue inside and gold outline.
I can see a
breakdown. I guess so. Is there only like one file?
Yeah, if you hit Y.
Change save file. Okay.
That's 5.
Oh, okay.
Are we gonna do another game room tour video? Look at the on the front page of the channel. There is a playlist that has all the video logs that we've done, or most of the video logs that we've done for like Patreon and stuff like that. And there is room tours, more casual room tours.
Very casual room tours.
As you see, I got my Freedom Planet finally from Limited Run.
Yep.
Came yesterday. It's just so cool to finally have a copy of that game, because that is, I think that when we went to Limited Run to interview them for the documentary, I said, you guys please do Freedom Planet, because that's the #1 game that I wanted. And no, I mean, this is, I mean, what year did it come out on Wii U? Was it like 2014, 2015? I think probably it came out. And I did a video on it in 2015, and it was definitely my game of the year that year. And it's I'm so happy to have a physical copy of that game. Yeah, I got the I actually had a physical copy that I got from IndieBox. Was it the name of the company? Whatever happened to IndieBox? They just disappeared. Did things like Limited Run basically kill IndieBox, or they get bought by somebody else, or they become somebody else? I mean, what happened to IndieBox? I know they sold some of their PC games at GameStop, but I think that was the last thing that they did, that I remember them doing, at least. I wonder if that did poorly and it killed the company.
Can't wait for physical release of Cuphead on Switch. Which version of Cuphead do you think you'll get? It'd be tempting to get both, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I might do. I mean, Freedom Planet is a game I liked it so much, I actually ended up buying both the PS4 and the Switch version. Just because it's silly to have both of them, honestly, but I liked it that much. I did the same with what's that one that just went out? Like the Contra game. I can't think of the name of it.
What, Rogue Core?
No, I do want to get the physical copy of Rogue Core though. I heard that
I want to get it when it's cheap.
It'll be cheap this Christmas for sure.
I'm sure it'll be like $20.
Yeah, Blazing Chrome. Blazing Chrome is I got both versions of that too. Just because it seems like something that I would want to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not something I do that often, but in some cases, or I will buy one version that I want, and then I will say, "Oh, seems like a good thing they have on this system as well," because you never know when we might need them as well. So, well, I think that's gonna do it. We went a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, I guess so.
Thanks to everybody who hung out, and everyone who donated and spending time with us this week. And look for the episode some point this week. I will be working on it all day for the next several days until it's done. And until then, we'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night.